everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a lovely day. You join me for another video where we talk about my no-buy. Now, if you are new here, you may not have seen my previous videos where I talk about my no-buy, the first of which was setting out the rules to control some of my worst spending habits. So if you've not seen that video already, I will leave that up here somewhere or in the description below, and you can go ahead and check that out, and then this video will probably make more sense. Now, previously I have done a wish list video, despite the fact that I'm doing a no-buy in order to sort out some of my worst spending habits, and despite the fact that I am trying to be more minimal and generally consume less in order to benefit the planet and the environment we live in. I am only human and there are still things that I would like to purchase. I recently did a video talking through some of the items that are on my wish list. If you want to go and check that one out, I will leave that here as well and in the description, so you can go and see some of the things that I have been thinking about over the last few months that I would really like to purchase. Some of those things were smaller purchases, some of them were larger, and some of them could potentially happen in the near future, and some of them are way off. So there's a bit of a mixed bag there. The whole point of this video though is to talk about the things that were on my wish list but at some point over the last few months have fallen off it. If you're the sort of person that's trying to control some of your spending habits, one of the best pieces of advice I can give is that you don't impulse buy anything. You don't immediately make a purchase when that idea pops into your head. Think it over for a while. I would say minimum 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month, to see how you really feel about purchasing that item, just so you can sort of decide if actually you're going to enjoy it, you're going to get the use out of it that you thought you would, and it is going to be a sensible and practical purchase. I have a list of 7 items that have at some point been on my wish list that I have thought, yeah, I really want that, I think it'd look nice, or it'd be practical, I would get a lot of use out of it, and it would make me happy in some way, I would enjoy it. And over the course of the time I've been doing my no-buy, so since the 1st of January, these items have come onto but since fallen off my wish list, and I'm going to explain why. So maybe you'll be able to get into a similar thought process as me when determining whether or not to purchase something, and you can hear the sorts of things I'm thinking about when items may be falling off my wish list and why. So let's get on with it. So the first item that's fell off my wish list is a mirror for my living room. I've got a blank wall with very little on it. At the moment it's just got 3 small pictures on, and they do look sort of out of proportion with the wall, and I thought a big mirror would open up the space and really sort of be a feature to the room. And this could be something in the future I potentially want. It is something I've wanted since I have moved into my house over a year ago, but it has never been a priority. And the fact that it's never been a priority says quite a lot to me, that there's just been more important things and I'm coping perfectly well without a mirror. And I know we should make our homes places that we love and that we enjoy, but it's not that I don't enjoy the room because there's not a mirror on the wall. It would just be nice to have. Also, mirrors are really expensive depending on the look or the style that you want, and so I would want to give this a lot of thought, and since it's been in the back of my mind, I've not really considered what style I'd be looking for. And so just saying I want a mirror is a bit vague. I think before going into any purchase like that, I need to be doing some research, particularly if it's something that I want to be a feature in the room. I didn't want to rush into this one and then regret my choice because I found something later on that I much preferred, or I just didn't like the style and it didn't work with the room. Another reason is once my no-buy is complete, I am really looking forward to going thrifting. I would love if, let's say next January, after my no-buy is over, I can go out into a thrift store and really browse and look for a mirror to put on that wall, knowing it's had a story, it's got a past, and I'm giving it a longer life. That to me sounds like a much more appealing idea than rushing out to the shops, picking one out, sticking it on the wall and being sick of it in 2 months' time. So I'm really looking forward to being able to go thrifting, and it just gives me something to look forward to when my no-buy is over. And I have thought of an alternative to put up on that wall in the meantime, so I'm not just looking at a blank or almost completely empty space, and that is, since we've been in quarantine, I have started to take up, I'm I'm not a pro, but I've started to take up macrame. So I was thinking maybe I could try to put my own wall hanging together, and then not only have I found something to put on the wall, but you know, I've created it myself and I can be proud of it every time I look at it. Sticking to the same room, the second one was cushions for my armchair and sofa. We have got the same cushions that were sent with our living room set when it arrived, so they're kind of free, they come with it and they match, and I don't like them. I've never liked them, and quite honestly, it was the style of the sofa I was interested in, not the cushions that are on it, so it didn't really matter to me that I didn't like the cushions. And so for a while I was thinking I'll get nicer cushions, I'll replace them. Again, I was struggling to come up with the design I was looking for to get it to fit into the room, so I was hesitant, and again it fell off my wish list. What I've managed to do for a temporary fix, so the cushions we have, they've got a pattern or theme on one side, and then they are plain grey on the back, which is the same material as the sofa. So I've just turned them all around, so you just have the grey side forward. It's not beautiful, it's not how I would like my sofa to look, but it does a job, and it saves me going out and purchasing unnecessary items, more textiles, and adding to sort of that problem of over consuming all the time when I've got something that's perfectly functional. They're working and they're doing the job. I did think about just buying cushion covers, because then at least you're not purchasing the filling, but again it just felt unnecessary, so I've ruled that one out for now. I'm going to just stick with the cushions I've got and stop worrying about it. I think as well it's worth bearing in mind when you purchase anything, the journey that that item has had to go through to not only be shipped to you or shipped to the store you've purchased it from, but its journey just through its whole manufacturing process. A lot of energy and resource has gone into that, and so that's why I personally am trying to cut back on the things I buy, because in the past I have consumed an awful lot, and I know in myself that I want to reduce that amount. So unnecessary purchasing of cushions when I've already got ones that are practical and do the job that they need to do, I'm just not going to buy them just for a certain aesthetic. It's off the wish list. The next thing, again, household, a lot of this is household, was patio furniture ready for the spring and summer. We've had some lovely days, and I thought it'd be really nice to have a really small table and chair set just to have out on the patio. And I thought that'd be lovely. I do love being out in the sun, but honestly, I keep saying to myself, how much am I going to use it? I am the first person to squeal if a bug comes near me. So if I'm out there trying to eat my lunch, for example, and a wasp flies near me, I know I'll be straight back inside. So I honestly don't think I would get the use out of a set of patio furniture. I know my husband wouldn't join me out there. He is not a person for eating outside. He would much rather be inside. So how much am I going to enjoy it if I'm sat out there on my own? Probably not so much. So the more I think about that one, the more I think I'm probably not going to make use of it. It's probably going to get a bit grotty with the weather we have here, and so it's just another thing to clean. So actually it's probably not something I want to purchase, and that's why it's fallen off my wish list. The next one was ethical clothing. Now don't get me wrong, I am all about shopping ethically where possible and doing your research before you purchase clothes and textiles. What I'm getting at here is going to ethical brands exclusively to shop. So many of you have suggested to me since my video where I talked about ethical clothing, the best way to shop ethically is to shop secondhand, because you're not putting the demand out there. That item has already been manufactured, the energy has already been put into it, and so you buying something secondhand is just prolonging its life, whereas otherwise it may have just ended up in the rubbish. So the best way to shop ethically is to shop secondhand, and you're also going to save yourself a lot of money. Anyone who's had a look on sort of websites for ethical clothing companies, they come with a price tag, and for obvious reasons. We know why that is, but it does make it more expensive, and it's far cheaper to go out and thrift something. So for me, in terms of my no buy, I've been doing really well because I haven't bought a single item of clothing so far this year. And again, it's something for me to look forward to come January if I want to start going into some secondhand stores and having a look around and buying clothes, then that's the way I'm going to be doing it. So rather than going straight to brand new ethical companies, I can go and get something second hand where I'm not creating more demand and sort of adding to the problem. The next thing is a fancy schmancy blender or smoothie maker or something along those lines. I go through phases with this one. I want to be more healthy, I want to drink smoothies, I've been making my own oat milk, and it would be nice to have a more upmarket, nicer blender. The one I have has got a very small capacity, you can only make a small amount at once, and it would be nice to upsize it. But to be perfectly honest, I don't think I get the use out of the one I currently have to justify me buying a new one. I definitely go through phases with it and only use it at certain times. I will use it for a period and get into the habit of using it and then fall out of that habit. I'm also the sort of person that doesn't like to have it left out on the counter, so for me I put it back in its box when I'm done and I put it away, so every time I want to use it I've got to get it out, which is just a bit of a pain, and it's one of the things that I find a bit off-putting. I think in my head the reason I wanted a blender, a fancy blender, was because my brain is saying, well, if I have that I'll use it and I'll make more smoothies and I'll get more fruit and I'll be more hydrated and I'll be able to get healthy and all of this, and I think I am kidding myself. Again, I've got a perfectly good functioning one, it does its job, so for me to go out and buy another one just to have a better one would be really irresponsible of me, because again, you're adding to that demand, you're not making use of what you've got, and that just creates a bit of a problem. Along the fitness health situation, the next thing I was looking at was to buy a yoga mat. I actually see quite a lot of these advertised on my Instagram. Since we've been in quarantine, I've taken it upon myself to make sure I do some sort of stretch routine or abs routine or some sort of workout routine that is primarily floor based, not using equipment, and I try to do that every single day. I've just been doing that in my living room, and we have a rug on the floor in the living room, and I've been doing it on the rug. If I get a yoga mat, that's something, again, I've got to get out, I've got to put it away, I've got to clean, it's going to take up space. Unnecessary consumption if I go out and buy one, because I'm making do with what I've got. So it fell off my wish list, I don't need it. And the last one that was on my wish list that I've now completely decided against was to get a new phone. I took out a 30-month contract on my phone, and that has just come to an end this month. I made my last payment last month, and I noticed this month my payment was only £9 something, because I'm done paying for the handset and I'm now just paying for the data, calls and texts that I use. And I think for most people, the automatic thing when your contract comes to an end is to then go and get an upgrade and to get a newer phone. For some people that would be a brand new phone. Usually for me it'd be a model that's maybe a year old already, because it is somewhat cheaper. I've never had a brand new phone that has been the newest model in the store for that particular brand. I have always gone for a slightly older one to keep my prices lower. I don't think I'm going to go and upgrade this time, so despite the fact that I've had my phone for 2.5 years, I still don't feel the need to go and get a new one. My phone is perfectly operational, there is nothing wrong with it, I can't fault it. I've been really careful with it over the time I've had it, so it's got no scratches, no cracks, nothing like that. So I honestly don't see the point in going out there and sort of buying into the marketing, really, of saying, you know, your contract's come to an end, we'll give you an upgrade, we'll do this, we'll offer you this, and it's sort of like, no, I don't need a new phone because my phone is perfectly fine. I've never been a person for sort of new modern tech, like I've never had to have the latest thing anyway, but it's just so unnecessary. I've got this device, it is fine, it is good quality. I do not need to go out and purchase a brand new one just for the sake of it. So that is something that is not on my wish list. And that's everything. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. I hope, if anything, it just gets you to think a little bit about your purchasing habits, and remember, take the time to think about something before jumping right in and buying it straight away. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe if you're not already. If you're not following me on Instagram, I will pop that here. Please go and check that out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!